All right, everybody. My next guest is the self-proclaimed stupid, funny comedian you and your grandma will love. His new album of prank calls called Do Not Call List Volume 1 will be available on December 18th. So here he is, folks, the one and only Mike Celona. Mike, how's it going, my friend? How you doing, man?
Man, I am doing good. I'm surviving COVID lockdown as good as I can, and I I don't know. I'm trying to get back to neutral. Like I have no ego here. It's not going the best. It's not going the worst.
Yeah.
What about you? You seem you're all right. There's a shark next to your head, but
Yeah, I
besides
got
that,
I got the shock. Yeah, no, just getting through COVID part two here as we get into winter and everything's locking down again, and just trying to get through it, hoping the vaccines work. Cuomo wants to cancel Christmas.
The problem is that this is a dangerous period because you have increased social activity by definition. That's what happens between now and New Year's Eve.
it's depressing because my favorite time of the holiday is Christmas cards, but I'm writing so many less because so many people are dying. It's depressing.
Sad times, and that does put a damper on the holiday spirit,
Yeah.
when everyone's just dying everywhere.
This is not love. This is not love.
It's just crazy times. The whole year's been crazy, and here we are now in the holiday. Are you a big holiday guy? You got kids, you got a family. Is this a big time of year for you?
Yeah, so I mean, I love the holidays. I mean, my favorite is probably 4th of July or, Halloween. My wife, I think women in general, they love Christmas more. Like, the beginning of November, they start pulling out pumpkin spice everything and putting on Santa hats. Um, the biggest thing is I like the holidays, and I've saved so much money this year not buying matching pajamas for everyone. Because it's like we're just staying home. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, just
Um,
in the PJs all the time.
yeah, but I would say this year the reason why I'm more excited is because I'm saving money on not buying gifts for certain people because I'm not gonna see them. Like a lot of times we go to my parents like the night before Christmas and we stay there for a couple days, and they usually have a friend or two come by and it's like, oh crap, I forgot Aunt Judy's gonna be here. Oh, here's a bottle of wine that I take from like my parents. You're just
Yeah,
making it up as you go.
right. Yeah,
And
yeah.
and for the kids, I don't have to take them to the mall and wait in line for 5 hours to have them take a picture with a high school dropout.
I was just at the mall recently out here on Long Island, and it was the first time this time of year where there was no line for Santa. He's just sitting there behind this plexiglass, no line at all, and I'm like, this is nuts, man.
This
You
is the
know?
year to book the Santa gig. There's no one there.
Yeah, exactly.
You probably get a long break because I mean hazard pay or whatever, and no one's there. That's great.
Yeah, it's just crazy, and it's sad, but like it's just a weird like time, and in the beginning of this in March, who would have figured that we would be here in Christmas time, still
Yeah.
going through this, chugging along. So are you now with the COVID? You've been working from home and doing everything. I mean, what's your life been like the last 9 months? Has it been already?
Yeah, so that's what's crazy. I mean, I went from someone that was in New York City every day, being a stand-up comic and working in entertainment. I rely on New York, and I haven't been back since. And it's just like it's like a bad breakup. Like I hear things about my ex, and I'm like, you know what? Yeah, I don't know, but my day to day is gruelingly mentally because I can't go out and do shows. I can't talk to people. You're the first non-relative I've talked to in months. So you're getting a Christmas card mailed out tomorrow. We're officially family.
Nice,
Um,
awesome.
yeah.
A Mike Celona Christmas card. That's great.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Awesome.
Um, it's just, it's depressing. It literally, I can't do shows. And a lot of the times, like I also work in television, like I write and work for different networks. So I'm working from home, but it doesn't feel my world is 100% creative, And I feel so uncreative because everything I'm doing is, at first in March, it was like, oh, we'll do something after COVID in a couple of weeks. And then it just kept going, and you just keep slowly, getting nowhere. And plus I have two kids, a 4-year-old and a 7-year-old. My wife is like teaching them from home, but she is a speech pathologist at a rehab center. So like every couple of days, because she works part-time, she's going in like wearing like hazmat suits
Right.
because she works at a hospital. And it's just like, it's scary to see that part. And then, she'll come home and be like, oh, a patient died. How was your day? I'm like, well, someone didn't like my joke that I was trying to write. So, I mean, even on my worst day, I'm like, I did we filmed a sketch a couple of weeks ago and we all wore masks. And like, I feel like I still have like acne from it. I mean, it just puts it in perspective. You see these doctors and nurses that are wearing masks for months doing 16-hour shifts. And I'm like, but my sketch, I was uncomfortable.
Yeah.
My face is a little itchy.
You start to get the priorities down of and it did bring a whole new light onto the healthcare workers and how important that they are on the front lines and the stuff. And to your point too, I think when we get through this, we're gonna stop complaining about the little things, because we've just been through this, and we're gonna like appreciate, like you said, like just commuting to Manhattan every day was probably a pain in the ass. I was commuting into Manhattan as well for a while, and now like I would just love just to sit on the train. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I'm from Pennsylvania. I was born and raised like in the Hicks kind of, and like every day, even taking the bus into the city, like I would look, and I love the skyline. I love all the bridges and stuff, and it never got lost on me. But I think even more now, like you said, just to see that, and just to see people, I'm due for a good hug.
Next time you're in Manhattan, after this is done, go through Times Square and give one of those dirty Elmos a big hug.
Oh, Dominican Spider-Man smoking a cigarette? Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's when you know it's safe.
That's how COVID started. I mean, someone hugged a street performer.
Yeah.
Dora the Explorer, Asian Dora the Explorer, stabbed someone, and then there was an outbreak.
That's a great theory. That I think could possibly be what happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody got to one of those, like you said, the Dominican Spider-Man, and they all went haywire from there.
Dude, I've never seen like, because Times Square is literally the middle of New York. So anywhere you go for comedy, you have to kind of go through it. And every time it's like that scene in Endgame where they're like, Avengers Assemble. But it's always, it's like Dominican Iron Man. And he's like, yo, you want a picture? And then you're all like, what? The one time I took my kids into the city to like hang out and kind of do touristy stuff. And literally we took a picture because I was like, oh, let's take a picture. It's more for myself because it's funny.
Right.
They look nothing like their characters. And literally, I didn't realize you have to pay each person. They don't work together. It's like a individual company.
I don't even know if it's a company.
One guy like, no, not at all. I was trying to be kind. I gave the guy $5, and literally they're like, all right, what about me? And I was like, no, I gave you all $5. Like, that's for you guys.
Yeah, split it.
No, we don't work together. I was like, well, you got to talk to Iron Man. He's the one who got the money, Tony Stark.
I the last time I was through Times Square was actually the last time I walked through Times Square was about a year ago. It was around Christmas time, and I gave one of the street performers $5, and she couldn't speak. I don't know if you saw her. She's kind of, I guess, relatively famous in there. She just goes, It was not recording. Hey everybody, it's your boy Don. I'm here. What's your name? Hi, say hi. And we're here. Make sure you tune in to Put Up, Shut Up, or Stand Up right here on govsradio.com. And he gonna play us a song. Gonna play us something? Yeah, she rocks, everybody. Only in Manhattan. We love you. Thank you. And now you look at Times Square and it's empty. It's like a ghost town. The only people that are literally walking around are those people. The Elmos are still there. The Spider-Man is still there. The Statue of Liberty on stilts is still walking around, but there's
How about the guy just painted white, like completely white, standing straight?
Yeah. Oh,
The
did you see the
memes
guy?
or whatever.
How about the guy
The
dressed as a
mimes.
baby? Have you seen the baby? He's
Oh yeah.
yeah, that thing's creepy, man.
Those are the people like right now everyone is arguing about like things getting shut down. I think we need to start a GoFundMe for the baby, the Dominican Iron Man.
We should. Yeah,
Dude,
those
they're making no money right now.
yeah, they're definitely not bringing it in the way they used to.
They're approaching first responders right now being like, "Hey, you guys got $1 for a picture with I know you're busy right now, but look,
Yeah.
me and Transformer, we'll take a picture with you. Optimus Prime over here."
And this is their big season too. This is when they get
Yeah.
the crowds. I mean, even the tree, Rockefeller Tree is hurting, man. Even that was sketchy.
I feel like it's unfathomable that New York is this hurt. Like I never could have imagined it.
Me
I mean,
either.
it's easy to joke about though.
Yeah. I know, but like if I would have told you 5 years ago, or even a year ago, hey man, there's going to be this virus that's going to shut down every city in the world, including Manhattan, you would have been like, come on, was this like some kind of sci-fi film?
Yeah.
There's no
Starring
way.
Lindsay Lohan. I gotta save New York.
Yeah, she's up against the clock. She has
Yeah.
she's gonna get the vaccine or the antidote.
In a needle. Ugh. She snorts the vaccine.
So mean.
Yeah, right. The only person who has the vaccine is Lindsay Lohan, who
Yeah.
who can't help but just fiend out and has to take it all.
There's none for the rest of us.
Let me do it again.
So now, just in time for the holiday season, your prank calls album has now been released. Do Not Call Volume 1. Tell us a little bit about this prank call album that you just released.
So, like anyone, Italians, like I said, we like Rocky, the Bible, and even the Jerky Boys.
Yeah.
I am a Jerky Boy fanatic. I remember, I don't know if it's bad parenting, but my parents had the cassettes and we would listen to it. I remember being in like elementary school and like we
Yeah.
would listen to it and like I'd go into school and be like, "Hey, rubberneck." And like my teachers would be like, "What?" Because both my parents are born and raised New Yorkers. But when I was a little kid, we moved to Pennsylvania to like this farm town. So my parents are like displaced. Like they're in the middle of like cowboys and they're like, "There's no freaking good meatballs over there."
They're like Joe Pesci from in My Cousin Vinny.
What's this over here?
You never heard of grits?
Sure. I heard of grits. I just actually never seen a grit before. Yeah, honey, you can try it?
You first.
No, so my dad is this little guy and my mom dresses like Marissa Tomei. So she looks like that couple every day. Or not every day, like once a year, I'll take that picture and post it on my parents' Facebook and be like, "I love my parents," because they look like Joe Pesci, Marissa Tomei.
That's
My mom is a hairdresser from Brooklyn.
Wow.
So
yeah.
like she's like, "Oh my God," like, yeah. So the scene in My Cousin Vinny where it's like these two youths, my parents are like, "What? I don't get it." Everyone's making fun of it. So, when I've been doing prank calls since I was a kid. I remember we had like a little tape machine and my dad would call people and we would literally just prank them. And then he'd be like, "All right, Mikey, you're up." And like, we would go around the table and be like, "All right, Pete, you're up." And we would just mess around.
Your dad's awesome. This is what you guys did for family time. This is awesome,
Yeah.
man.
Like we used to have this thing called asshole night where looking back, my parents were probably just drinking, being like, "Well, we got to keep the kids up till bed." And it was, it was a talent show, but no one really had talent. So like my dad with like a cigarette in his mouth would pretend to like swallow a microphone. Like he'd go,
Yeah, right.
You know, but there's like videos of it. We would film it. My mom would sing Barry Manilow. My brother would break dance, and I would like tell jokes. I would
This is
like make up
awesome.
jokes or steal jokes. Yeah, it was called Asshole Night. So then, yeah, I'm like 4 years old in feety pajamas, being like, I love Asshole Night.
Asshole night rocks.
Yeah, I got to start that with my kids.
Yeah, everybody looks forward to asshole night.
Yeah, it's politically correct nowadays, so we just call it like maybe like Fresh Night.
Yeah.
Just because last night I heard my son telling his Winnie the Pooh, he's like, cut the shit, like Daddy said. I'm like, oh boy. So I got to watch what I say. No, it's Asshole Night. We got to keep it alive. But so we were always doing prank calls, and you know, the Jerky Boys, even in high school, college, I listened to them, and I had a karaoke machine, and I would just start prank calling like friends and stuff and people's moms. And so then when lockdown happened, one of my friends was like, oh, I found this on my phone, a prank call we did a couple of months ago. And I was like, oh my God, like that's actually kind of funny. Like, you know, I was like, maybe there's something there. And then I was playing some for a friend, and he was like, these are good. Like, you should release these. And I was like, do people even like do prank calls anymore? And so everyone I was talking about, I think people are just tired of stand-up. It's like it's so in your face. Everyone is now stand-up comic. There's stand-up comedy everywhere. So I wanted to do something that was a little different. Plus, I was home. I mean, COVID hit. So from March to July, I was just like, I was still getting telemarketing calls. And I was like, what the hell? Like, are these people still working? So I started messing with them. And a lot of it was like telemarketers. So it's not like I'm just calling random people.
Yeah.
So I think people can relate to it too, because you get a lot of calls. It's like, are you looking for cash for your business? It's like, yeah, sure. I want to sell drugs, or like I would just mess around with them. But I had so much fun doing it. And it's called the Do Not Call list. And I have physical copies.
Yes. Look at
They're
that.
yeah, so this is the first volume because I want to do more of them. It was just so much fun, and it's nice to do a passion project with no strings attached and no expectations. So I just started recording, like, all right, once a week I'll go in my basement and, you know, call these telemarketers back.
Oh, you call them back. Okay, I got you. So I
Or-
wasn't sure how it worked. If you're like, if the phone rings, you look, and then all of a sudden on the spot decide what character you're going to be, how you're going to handle it. But if you call
It was
them
kind
back,
of both. It was kind of both. So like I would say in March and April, I was like going nuts. I couldn't perform anywhere. Everything was on lockdown. So I started, you know, I would go and call the numbers back. And a lot of the times they weren't picking up. Or it's like, this is not a valid line. Like they just give you like these weird burner lines. So then I was like, all right. So I had all my gear hooked up, and I would just leave it there. And then if they called, I would quick turn everything on and just record it and be like,
Right,
hey,
right.
what's up? And
so you don't really know what they're going to be asking you when you call.
no.
Like
And
you
like
don't. Yeah.
a lot of the times, I mean, some of these people, they're just following a script. So I really just wanted to be candid with my personality. So like if I was having a real bad day, I would be aggressive. So if they were like, are you looking for money? I was like, no, I'm looking to bang your wife. Like I there was times where I was just annoyed. And then there was times where like I was in a good mood, and like I would sing to them and they would sing back to me. Like the amount of like, it's fun.
Did you get them to break character? Like if you're mad at somebody, you say, you know, fuck you and your wife or whatever. Do they snap out of it and out of their nice, you know, the script and go, hey man, fuck you? Or how does it?
Yeah, I had a few people hang up on me. It's funny because I think also a lot of companies, I mean, I feel bad that I did it during a pandemic because a lot of places were calling just to get business.
Yeah. Well, that's what they get though. They shouldn't be cold
Yeah.
calling like that.
Yeah. I say it's like fun solicited. You know, they were
Right.
unsolicited and I had fun with them.
Right.
But a lot of them, I also tried to only stick with really large corporations. So like they're getting like Best Buy and Petco, and I called like a gym, one of the largest gyms in the country. I forget. I think it was like Planet Fitness.
Right.
And I just said I wanted a membership because I have IBS and I want to use their bathrooms all over the city. Like I called a and then you get a lot of ads on social media like, I'm a photographer, like let me take your photos. So like I would message them and be like, me and my wife are expecting a kid, we're doing a home birth, and I want a DJ and a photographer there. I was like, I want house music for when my son's born because I'm Italian. And they were like, oh, dude, bro, we don't do that. And I was like, you said all events.
Yeah,
said
this
all
is a big
events.
event. This is a big
It's a
event.
big event. Yeah. I mean, it was good. And the thing that's funny is like kind of looking at the Jerky Boys, like there were different characters. And like that's something that I had to like build organically because I was like, oh, that was kind of fun. So like the one I play like an old guy, and I call a technology company and I'm like, my son got me a smartphone, but I don't know if he got me a data plan or a data plan. And they're like, sir, it is the same thing. I'm like, I don't trust you, damn it. Like I slipped right into the old guy.
And like when you talk about the Jerky Boys, I obviously remember the Jerky Boys too. I remember before they actually had an actual album, the people used to just pass around these cassette tapes, almost like blend tapes, like on the street.
Yeah.
Back in the good old days before social media, this is how you did it. You exchanged tapes. And it was the first time I ever heard prank calls done that way and that good. And they had, I'll put a racket wrench. Or he's like, hey, let me tell you something. You have a nephew or that you work with or anything like that? Anybody I got to worry about? He's like, no. He's like, all right, I start work tomorrow. All that stuff, right?
Yeah.
And there's
Frank Rizzo.
Frank Rizzo. So it's classics, and you think, like you said, that the art of prank calls, may be extinct just because of the technology today, because people could find out who you are relatively easy.
Yeah.
But so I'm glad to see you carrying the torch and and putting out this album and with characters and kind of in the style and in in the spirit of what the Jerky Boys did.
Yeah.
So
That's
go
what's
ahead.
kind of cool. I want to see what people think of the different characters too. Cause I mean, I would say the majority is just me, like talking like this to people, just asking them outrageous things. But I do have some of my characters sprinkled in there that just came out naturally. So it would be interesting to be like, oh, I like that woman or that old guy or,
Right. Yeah,
yeah, that'd be interesting.
you could be the next wave of that. People could start passing around your stuff, and you could rekindle that whole thing, because I don't think there's been other than crank anchors or something like that,
Yeah.
there hasn't been like the art of prank calling has kind of been
Yeah.
a dying breed. So I'm glad to see you're bringing it back, and effectively too, man. I listened to some of it online. You got like a bunch of little quick clips of it, so that's good stuff, man.
Yeah, my YouTube page, I put like a 2-minute sampler because I'm like, do people even know what prank calls are? And like you said, crank anchors, that probably came out like 20 years ago, and I loved it.
Right. Yeah.
And there's a lot of huge comics, like Tracy Morgan was on it. There's a lot of big names on it, and I feel like just people aren't really into prank calls, but there's such a big cult following. Like the people that love it really love it, and it's kind of, I'm getting older, I have kids, maybe I'm just sentimental. I'm like, this is kind of for my dad.
Right.
Like
asshole night. Yeah.
asshole night. Yeah. So like I played him some, and like he was just dying. He's like, oh, these are great, these are fun. And my mom was like, you're making fun of me in this one, I don't like it. Because I call edible arrangements, and I was like, my mom's old school Italian, she's Catholic. Can I get a bouquet of garlic knots and cigarettes? And they were like, no, sir, we don't do that. And I was like, all right, what about
cigarettes?
Yeah, she's a smoker, she loves garlic knots. Can we get that in a bouquet?
That's great.
Yeah, she loves cats. I was like, can I get a flower arrangement but with cat hair? They were like, sir, we don't, it's food. And I was like, all right, yeah. So look, she loves Barry Manilow. Can we get something where, you know, it looks like a fountain drink from a gas station, and when she opens the lid, it plays Barry Manilow. They were like, "Sir, no, we don't have any of that." But they never. I just kept asking them for outrageous things, and they were like, "No, no."
That's so. Just tell everybody real quick where they could find you, where they can get the album, and if Instagram, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah. So my name's Mike. The song "My Sharona." I know, I get it. But you can go to MikeCelonaComedy.com, and that kind of has everything. I have a YouTube page. I have a web series I put out called Marketing Mike. And that's really fun because I do a lot of stuff for networks and marketing and writing. So I kind of make fun of things like the whole Starbucks Christmas cup debacle.
Right.
I'm like, if you want to put two gay guys going down each other on it, I don't care. Like, make your market, man. So it's stuff like that. Just marketing tips for large corporations. And they're zany, but they're fun. But it's called Marketing Mike. You can follow me on Instagram. And it's at Manny Kotz, like the name Manny Kotz. It makes no sense, but if you say it fast, it's Manny Kotz. Like
Manny
Italians,
Kotz. Yeah, there
Hello.
you go.
Everything goes back to Italians and food. The Bible, Rocky, prank calls, and Menicot.
There you go. And calzones.
Yeah, and calzones. And I just started TikTok, which is fun. And yeah, I'm all over the place, but really the best place to go is MikeCelonacomedy.com because that has it's the portal for everything. And when, you know, everything opens up, it will have my dates. There's merch on there, and I'm getting some shirts and fun stuff made. But what's cool is this is a physical CD because, you know, I grew up listening to physical copies of prank calls. If people buy them off my website, I'm donating parts of the proceeds to charities. So the first charity that I'm working with is for CHD, and it's children with congenital or cognital, I forget what it's called, heart defects. So
Nice.
it's comedy for a good cause. And you can also stream it and buy it on iTunes, you know, all those other places, Spotify, Amazon Music, Google Play, everywhere else. So just enjoy it and tell your friends about it because it's fun. Share it.
Very cool. Thanks, Mike, for taking the time to talk to us, man. Awesome dude. Very funny guy. Mike Celona, everyone. Thank you.
Now I have your phone number. I got to prank it.
What's that I see on the TV? Put Up, Shut Up, and Stand Up is on the TV. Make sure you tune in and subscribe. Don and Benny, they're awesome.